Today was the first time I've ever been to a Morphe store. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Anna, and today I'm so excited because we got the Jeffree Star Bloodlust collection. It was not an easy task. My husband was extremely sweet and he drove me all the way to Chicago, which is like 2.5 hours away from me with my toddler, and we left at 7 in the morning and we drove those hours, and as soon as we got there at 10:08 there was a line where I had to wait another hour. So today was the first time I've ever been to a Morphe store in my life, and when I got to the store there was a very long line and we did end up waiting an hour. When we were in line, they actually passed us these little pieces of paper that they made us check mark what we wanted to buy, and I was like, this is interesting, and I think it was kind of their way of keeping track of inventory, which is a good idea. But they had the lip glosses on there individually, and I was like, I can't remember really what they look like. Am I gonna get to look at them in the store before I decide what I'm gonna buy? Because I don't know. And so they let us go in 10 at a time, and when it was my time to go in, I was so overwhelmed. I was trying to look at things and I was like, they have the pallets at the back where they actually bag it for you, like they already have it for you to go. I think it's just their way of being more organized, and I think it went really smoothly, honestly. I waited an hour in line, but there were probably about 80 people in front of me, so honestly I don't think it was really that long. But I did have 2 different glosses on my sheet that I had kind of guessed that I wanted, and one of them did sell out, but the one that they did still have in stock, it was called the Gloss in Sorcery, which is kind of the more pinky toned gloss. So I have that to review for you guys today. This retails for $18. Honestly, I'm obsessed with his glosses. They are an amazing, comfortable formula. The smell is delicious and you're gonna want to eat it off your lips, and it just has this really beautiful purple cap because of the purple collection, and this one is probably the most pinky-ish one. It does have a flat doe foot applicator, and there it is. On camera it doesn't really look like anything special, and in tube and on camera you see more pink flecks, but honestly when the sun hit my lips those purple flecks came shining through, and it was intense purple, blue, pink craziness. It's really pretty. These are $18, so if there's a gloss that you like from this collection, I would highly suggest picking it up. Not necessarily all of them. I mean, it is gloss. Eventually if you put it on top of lipstick they don't look too different, but I mean these have really pretty kind of purpley shifts, and if that's kind of your thing I would definitely jump on one of these. Then of course I got the palette, which is what everyone wanted. I was starting to get really concerned in line. I was like talking to the girls around me. I was like, do you think we're gonna get a palette? Do you think they're gonna sell out? I just drove 2.5 hours here with my toddler and my husband. They're gonna be so mad at me. What if it's sold out? Oh my gosh. So I was having a panic attack, and one of the girls, she was so nice. All the girls were nice who I was waiting in line with. By the way, none of them do like makeup reviews or anything. They were just Jeffree Star fans. And one of the girls was like, I came here at 12:30 after the conspiracy launched and I just walked in and they still had palettes, so I think we're good. And then the girl behind me told me that, so it was honestly nice just talking to other makeup geeks who understood. It also made me realize that I'm like actually a makeup geek person, because when we were waiting in that long line we got a lot of stares from the rest of the mall. People, there was even this one guy, he was like this older guy, like he would walk by him, but I was like, why is he giving us dirty looks right now? Like, we are the scum of the earth. And then I had one guy come up to me, he's like, what's the big line for? And I was like, the palette. And he was just like, oh, it must be good, huh? I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, but you can watch my review later. It was just kind of weird getting stared at. Like, people were like, what's going on? Why are there people waiting outside of Morphe? And you just kind of, when you're in the makeup world, assume the whole world knows that today's a big launch day. I got the palette and she is definitely prettier in person. She retails for $54. Now Jeffree Star goes all out when it comes to packaging. I feel like he's definitely going to step up the game when it comes to makeup packaging, because no one has really outdone him ever yet, and I feel like maybe one day people will try and compete with him because he does amazing. It's velvet, so some people might not like to really touch velvet, but even the detailing on this, like, it's just really neat. And then there's this little not button, you actually just pick it up and it's really easy to open actually. And then you have big mirror, and then you have the beautiful shades. I didn't even notice the shade was in here right here, called Monarchy. This whole time I was like, there's no like nudie shades in here, but there is. I'm a liar. And here are the beautiful shades you get. I do appreciate this color story because honestly, if it was just a bunch of really deep purples, I probably wouldn't get as much wear out of it. I love light shimmery pinks. I love light shimmery purples. So when I saw all of these shimmery goodness lilac lavender colors, I was like, yes, this is my palette, and this is so spring. So this is a very springy palette. You have like that light green. Of course, people are complaining like, why is there a bright red? Well, it's Jeffree Star Cosmetics. If you didn't want something unexpected to be in his product, you probably shouldn't buy from Jeffree Star. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Jeffree Star isn't for the faint of heart, for someone who just wants something completely wearable and normal and not out of the box every day. I feel like Jeffree Star is for when you want a little bit something different, a little bit something cray cray. Okay, so if you're into Jeffree Star Cosmetics, you're in it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? The only color that I wasn't that excited about was this one, because it looks very teal in the pan, and when people swatched it and used it, it was very blue. Vile Serpent. So I wish this one had a little bit more of a green background to be more of a true teal, because I think true teal would look so bomb with purples and lavenders. But other than that, I can appreciate this color story. They're so beautiful. Anyways, today I did 2 looks in one. I do plan on doing a swatch video. I don't want this video to be too long, so we are going to get into these 2 looks that I did today. So if my eyes look bloodshot, it's because they are. I have been wearing eyelashes a lot recently. I've been uploading a lot of videos recently, and honestly, I'm horrible at putting on my eyelashes, and I get glue on my eyes, so it's kind of been a disaster. And this eye has literally been bloodshot for like a whole week now, so I'm sorry, but for the love of makeup, if you hear screaming upstairs, your ears are not deceiving you. That is my 2-year-old, but give him a break because he drove to Chicago with me to get this beautiful palette. So it was a 2.5-hour drive for us. So I think today we might actually try doing 2 different looks. I'm a little bit worried because I always like talk so much. So let's just try and get into it. I'm going to start off with Royal Pain. I haven't swatched any of these, so it's going to be interesting to see what they look like on the eye versus in the pan. This does have a mirror. I feel like it might be kind of hard to use. I don't know. We're gonna go in with like this fluffy blending brush from Wet n Wild. I barely tapped. This shade makes me happy. It is this beautiful mauve purple shade, and it's gorgeous. I did prime my eyes with the e.l.f. Putty Primer. I feel like I'm completely sponsored by them, but I'm not. I have mentioned them in every single video ever since I've used them. This isn't a joke because I love the e.l.f. Putty Primer so much. So much. Let's zoom you guys in so you can really see what's going on here. But the e.l.f. Putty Primer just really makes things stick. Some of you said you weren't sure if you liked it yet, but I really love it. I love it so much, and this color is gorgeous. Next, we are going to go into, I think, High King, which is in this one right here. It is this very pretty, almost reddened looking purple. Very warm toned. I like that there's a mix of warm tone purples along with cool tone purples. So that is definitely very nice. I'm actually going to go into my e.l.f. Putty Primer and kind of clean up, just to kind of clean that up. So it's not concealer, but I am using the e.l.f. Putty Primer. It is a lot easier just to hold a mirror because this palette is so honkin' huge. So I think first going to that first shade we went to, Royal Pain, we're going to take it and put it underneath. These shades are so beautiful. I think we're gonna try the green because I feel like I haven't seen very many greens yet, and it is called Sworn Enemy. I'm using the new Bretman Rock shader brush, which I'm obsessed with that too lately. That's a very pretty green. But again, these like just really remind me of very springy colors. I do feel like I have to keep going back in and pack it on. We are actually going to go into this kind of, do I want to do purple or the periwinkle color? Something's telling me to do periwinkle. Let's just go with our gut. It might end up looking awful. It might, I don't know. I think periwinkles are so beautiful. I kind of wish he would create a whole periwinkle palette. So this one definitely is going to take some building or like something stickier because it's not. Also mixing it next to the green probably wasn't the best idea. It just wasn't the best idea I've ever had. So I might go on top with Vivid Moon, which is the purple. Oh, that is, oh yeah. So I'm going to show you which one Vivid Moon is. It's this one right here, and that was very intense and beautiful. So maybe I'll have to try that kind of periwinkle shade later. I think a part of the problem is trying to blend it into the green. I think for the inner corner we are going to take Wet Jewel, which is supposed to be like a new formula right there. Oh, so she's a little bit crumbly. Oh, but she's very pretty and intense. So I just used an eyeliner brush for that. I cannot wait to swatch these. I think I'm gonna put a little bit like leading up to that green. So I did go back and I added some more of that color underneath and a little bit more on top, and then I even added some of everything. Performed well except for that kind of periwinkle shade. So we're gonna try it on the other eye, and I'm a little bit scared, to be honest. I'm a little bit scared because it wasn't that pigmented on this eye. So we are going to go into Scandal Water, which is periwinkle, and we're using this BH Cosmetics. I'm going to use a denser brush since it did seem so less pigmented. So let's try this. I'm just dipping in it a little bit lightly, a little bit. Okay, so on a like packing type of brush like this, a more dense one, it is picking up fine. The way I'm using it right now. Again, I do have that e.l.f. Putty Primer on, which is amazing. Not sponsored, but wish I was from e.l.f. because I could talk about how amazing this product is all day. All day long, all day long, all day long. I kind of don't like this shade as much once it gets blended out, so I almost think that for me it needs to be either like a defined crease shade like I'm doing right now, or it needs to be like an all over the lid shade, but I think I don't like it when it starts blending out, what it starts turning to. Now, how bright is this purple? We're going to try putting the shade Deviant. So I thought I could use Deviant as a transition shade, but honestly she is her own color. She's just as pigmented as that one, so I'm going to go back into that bone shade called Your Majesty that we used on the other brow bone on the other eye. Next we are going to go into the darkest purple called Blood Queen. I don't really know what look I'm going for here. Two different purpley looks, I guess. Let's see how pigmented this one is. This is very pigmented. I don't have anything negative to say about the shadows. The only one I struggled with at one point was the periwinkle shade, and it wasn't even like that big of a deal. Gonna take that under the lid. Sorry, that is my son. I do have Fallout with the purple color. So honestly, if I was doing like a look like this with these types of shades, I would do my foundation last next time. I think we need to try Betrayal because it looks really pretty. I feel like the indents are a little bit deeper this time, so that maybe they won't go away right away. That actually was a question somebody had for me one time. They asked if the indents disappear like right away. And I was like, yeah, basically, I'm sorry. So Betrayal, let's see. Okay, so it's picking up pretty nicely. So it's a pretty like kind of orchid shimmer color. Pretty. I feel like for spring these colors are just really gonna be amazing. I kind of want to take Pink Magic, which is one of his new, again, shimmer shades. I feel like my brush isn't picking these up very good, so I'm probably going to, ooh, can you see that shimmer? So taking that shade, putting under the eye there. And lastly, I think we're going to take Wet Jewel, which is the lightest shimmer shade. I feel like these are a little bit slicker and more top-ray, so they're harder to pick up with a brush. So just keep that in mind. Let's see what it looks like just popped. It's very pretty though. If there is one thing, if you're not really necessarily into the palette, that you could get, I would highly recommend a gloss because they're just good. I have nothing bad to say about the glosses ever. I don't have anything bad to say about them. And the palette, if you like lilacs and lavenders and very shimmery pretty shades like that, I think this palette is for you. I really didn't have too many problems with the shades that I did use. I used quite a bit of shadows too. I do plan on swatching them, and if you want to see the swatches, just follow me at For the Love of Glitter because it always gets posted there first. But also I usually like to talk about the quality a little bit on my posts on there as well, or you can ask me questions on my posts about how it performed and I will tell you. But yeah, so far the only one was that Periwinkle shade that at first I kind of had a few problems with, and then that's it so far. So I think it's a good palette. I think Jeffree Star, you can usually expect it to be pretty good quality at this point, so I think it's more about just seeing the colors and seeing different looks with them, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget, I do have a Jaclyn Hill giveaway going on my channel right now. I did review the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I also am giving one away. I will leave the giveaway link down below if you are interested in that. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a great day. Bye!